Fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you. Get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Constance Carter. I am coming to you live and direct on Wealth Wednesday. What is happening? What's happening? It's Wealth Wednesday, and if you are used to tuning in with me every night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, you know I'm always trying to bring you something that's going to add value to your life in one way or another. Whether I'm talking about wealth, whether I'm talking about Black excellence, whether I'm talking about Black love, whether I'm trying to give you some type of motivation that's going to change your life and transform you in one way or another, that's what I'm here for. And that's why I come on here every night on Fly Nubian Queen, the channel for melanated people that are just like you. That's why I come here every day, because I want to help the community. I want to enhance the community. So tonight is Wealth Wednesday, where I love to give wealth tips, things that you can do, little things that you can do to implement that's going to change the trajectory of your life. And so for now, while I am here, I want you to tell me, where are you hailing from? Where are you hailing from right now? Where are you? I'm in California. It's 6 p.m. over here. Where are you hailing from? So go ahead and put your name in the comments box and tell us where you are where you're watching from. Because I know we have people, Malika, that are watching from all over the world. We have people in Africa. We have people in Asia. We have people in Europe. We have people in France. We have people in Great Britain and Australia. We have people in Chicago, Charlotte, Sacramento, all over California, Los Angeles. So tell us where you are hailing from, because I want to know. And, listen, this is all about community. So I want to make sure that you're networking with one another. So in the comments box, if there's something that you do that can enhance your life in any way or enhance the life of somebody else, put what you do in there too, because there might be somebody in here that's watching that needs to utilize your services for something. So I want you to, put, if there's a specialized service you have, you never know who could be watching right next to you. So put what you do in the comments box as well, and how people can find you. Maybe put your Instagram handle on there, and so people can find you, because I want to make sure that when we're talking about building the community, that everybody is building together. The thing about Black Wall Street is it was a collaborative effort. That's what collaborative economics came. That's where collaborative economics came from, is us doing business with one another. So it's important that, we know what each other's doing so that we can collaborate with one another. So if there's something that you do on a professional level, go ahead and put it in the comments box. I would love to see you guys share and network amongst each other. The other thing I want you to do is make sure, if you're on YouTube, if you're looking at us from YouTube, I want you to go over to Facebook, and I want you to follow the Fly Nubian Queen page on Facebook. I also want you to follow the Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter page on Facebook. And if you're on Facebook, just take a moment really quick, and I want you to go over to YouTube, and I want you to subscribe to the Find Fly Nubian Queen on YouTube, and I want you to hit the subscribe button, and I want you to hit the thumbs up button. Okay. Then I want you to go over to Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter on YouTube real quick. And I want you to hit the thumbs up button, and I want you to subscribe right now. So I'm gonna give you a moment to go over there to these two places and start subscribing and start following. And go. I'm giving you a moment right now. So go. Give you 30 seconds. So I'm not gonna start, because it's gonna be some good stuff. I'm not gonna start until you get back. All right. So give you 30 seconds. Let me see. Okay, hold on. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Charles, can you give me a 30-second countdown on StreamYard? By the time we get there, it's gonna already be done. You know where the 30-second countdown is on StreamYard, Charles? Right here. There we go. So hopefully you've gone and you have subscribed on Fly Nubian Queen, or the YouTube page. Hopefully you've gone and you've subscribed to Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter's YouTube page. Hopefully you've gone on Facebook and you subscribed there as well. Gave you 30 seconds to do it. So hopefully you've done it. All right. So I want to make sure that we're networking and we're practicing collective economics here as well. So if there's something that you got, something that you like, something that you have some kind of talent, I want to make sure that you're putting it in the comments box. All right. So let's get it cracking, because I do want to talk about something that I think is very important. I want to talk about the 11 myths that we often have in our community, myths and mistakes, financial myths and mistakes that we often do, that we often have in our community. And it's, a lot of it is a lack of, is ignorance. And when I talk about ignorance, I'm not saying ignorant because you dumb or you stupid. I'm saying ignorance. I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm saying lack of ignorance just because you don't know. And the Bible says that my people perish for a lack of knowledge. And I want to make sure that you have the knowledge so that you can make wise decisions and wise choices. Okay. Now, listen, this is only a minuscule part of the information. This is only a small part. You're going to get so much out of this today, but it's only a very, very small part. Constance Carter VIP. If you subscribe to Constance Carter VIP, I go deeper in my VIP, in my one-on-one VIPs. And I've partnered with Dr. Boyce, and we put together this VIP for all of you. And I do the VIP Q&A every Tuesday at 5:00. So make sure you go to Constance Carter VIP to subscribe so that we can go even deeper. But I'm gonna get you some real meat right now, real meat and potatoes. All right. So let's go with the myth. I'm gonna give you, I said 10. I think I'm going to give you 11 myths. All right. So let's go. So the first myth I'm going to talk about is people saying, I want to wait until the market drops to buy a home. I want to wait until the market drops to buy a home. Everybody thinks there's going to be this big crash like 2008. I want to wait. I don't want to buy a house right now. I'm going to wait. I'm just going to stand by and I'm going to wait until the market crashes. First, let me tell you that we will see a correction in the real estate market. The real estate market is cyclical. It goes up and down. It does. It's always done that. So that's not uncommon. With the pandemic, with the short recession that we were in, absolutely, the market will end up being affected by it. But if you think there's going to be another 2008, there's not. I'm sorry to inform you, there's not going to be another 2008 where you're going to see houses that were once $400,000 now $150,000. We have that a lot. And I'm in Stockton, California, which was ground zero for the foreclosure market. The foreclosure crisis, this was ground zero. So if you Google anything, GTS, Google that shit, you'll see that Stockton, California was ground zero. Most of the foreclosures happened here. And guess what? I was actually blessed to be one of the biggest foreclosure brokers in the area during that time. So I was able to really help a lot of people. But you'll never see a market like that, because when that happened, it happened. I don't know why they didn't prepare for it, but they just weren't prepared. So when these interest rates started adjusting, they started going up. So even me, I had one of my investment properties that I think the payment was $1,200 and it went up to $2,500 like that. Boom. Like, I'm not paying $2,500 for this piece of crap that I'm only getting, $1,200 for rent or $1,300 for rent. You think I'm gonna pay $2,500? I ended up foreclosing on that property. But the banks were not ready. The banks were not established to be able to handle all the volume of all the foreclosures that came in. They didn't have departments to even deal with this. So they were foreclosing really quickly. And then it took them, 2 or 3 years to foreclose. But they had set up departments, workout departments that actually help people to be able to keep their properties. So the reason why we're not going to see a housing pandemic the way we saw before is because banks, it's better for banks to keep you in the home and work with you than to foreclose, because the housing market affects the entire global economy. And nobody wants that kind of smoke that we had in 2008. They just don't. They don't want that smoke. So they put mechanisms in place so that we won't see that. Yes, we will see some fallout from the pandemic, absolutely. But we're not going to see the type of fallout that we saw in 2008 simply because banks are prepared. They have workout departments that are willing to work your payments out with you to keep you in the home, because it's more beneficial to everybody involved to keep you in the home. Okay. So you're not going to see the market drop. Second thing is, don't buy when the market drops. So even if it does go down, so say that there's a house that was $400,000, now it's $350,000. but the interest rates went up. So right now the interest rates are like 2%, 1.875, 2%, 2.5%. So say the interest rates go from 2%, now they're 4%. So your house just went from 400,000 to 350, but your rate went from 2 to 4%. Cumulatively, you're going to pay more for the home, even though it's $50,000 less, because the interest rate is higher. So if you're waiting to buy a home when the market drops, but if the interest rates go up, you're actually paying more for the house. So it makes no sense for you to be waiting. I've had clients that were waiting for years and years and years, and they ended up losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity because they were waiting on the market to drop. They've been waiting since 2012 for the market to drop, and it never did. And year went by, and year went by, year went by, and that $200,000 house that they were looking at is now a $400,000 house or a $450,000 house, and they've lost out on equity. So don't wait until the real estate market drops or you think it's going to drop, right? So, and the other thing is when it was dropping, everybody was started selling and getting scared. And Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, he said, don't sell when everybody's selling, sell when everybody's buying, buy when everybody is selling. And we tend to do the opposite. We tend to, as a community, as African-Americans, we tend to be reactive instead of proactive. And so we have to look at the market very differently. All right. That's number one. Number two, a myth or a mistake that we make in our community, in the African-American community, is we think stock is gambling. A lot of times, so the wealth gap is very real. And the reason why the wealth gap is so wide, number one, is because a lot of discrimination in housing and things like that. Real estate is the number one way that you can build wealth. But the other way is that African-Americans just don't invest in the stock market in the way that our white counterparts do, because we are scared to invest. We don't know what we're doing. We think it's gambling. The stock market isn't gambling. It's actually an educated way for you to invest your money. Now, you can pretty much tell what a stock is getting ready to do by you studying the market. That's not gambling. With gambling, it's luck of the draw. We don't know what's getting ready to happen. We just putting our money in and hoping lady luck pays off, right? But with the stock market, you're looking at the trends. You're looking at the historical data. You're looking at what kind of money this company made. You're looking at the earnings report. You're looking at the growth. You're looking at all of those things to determine if this is a good stock that I want to invest in. So it's not gambling. On the contrary, if you know how to study stock, then you'll know which stock to invest. Dr. Boyce Watkins, he knows. He makes a lot of money in stock, and the people who follow him make a lot of money in stock. My mom's ex-husband, I think he grew his portfolio 112% or something like that by following Dr. Boyce Watkins stock tips. My son, 16 years old, he has a stock group where people, he has probably 200 people in his group at this point, and he's showing people and he's helping people double and triple their portfolio because he's doing the research. He's researching the companies. He's finding out what the earnings are going to be. They're doing options. They're doing stocks, all of those things. My 16-year-old son is doing this. Now he's not a genius by any means. In fact, I was just telling I was just seeing his progress report, and I was like, yeah, this stock genius ain't handling his business in school because he's so busy with the stock. Doesn't mean he's not smart, but he ain't handling his business the way he needs to. So I'm like, by the time these grades come out, this progress report grades better be up. But he's so enthralled in the stock market and he's so good at it that he ended up making $14,000 last month. He ended up making $26,000 over the last 4 months in stock, and he's helping other people do the same. So investing in stock is not gambling. It is educated. It's an educated investment. So if you know what you're doing, or you're at least following people who know what they're doing, that they're well educated on it, then you can make money. Okay. So Black people, please begin investing in the stock market. It will pay off. It is a long-term investment. It is a risk. You may gain, you may lose, but be willing to put it in for the long haul. Number three, I've heard some people say buying a home is a liability and it's not an asset. Au contraire, mon frère. It is not a liability. It's actually an asset, especially when it's an appreciating asset. So they say, well, when you have a home and you live in it, then, it's not really an asset. Well, it is, because you have what's called equity. And when you sell your home, you have equity, right? So if you didn't have a home and if you were renting, you would not have equity. And people are like, well, I don't really own this home anyway. The bank owns a home. You own the equity. until you actually finish paying it off. So there's absolutely benefits to owning a home. Real estate is the number one way that you could build wealth. 90% of wealth in this country has been generated through real estate. 80% of wealth in this country is passed intergenerationally. And so the people who have the wealth are the people who a lot of people who invested early on and passed the wealth to their kids. It is a sin before God if you leave this earth and you have no inheritance to leave to your children. Because the Bible says that a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. Okay? So make sure that you are investing in real estate because it is an asset. It is not a liability. 4, I've actually heard Black people saying that credit discriminates against Black people. Now, I don't know what that means. How does credit discriminate against Black people? I have no idea, but I've heard that credit somehow discriminates against Black people. Now, credit cannot. That's one of the things that is non-discriminatory. See, back in the days, let me see if I can find one of my books. I have a best-selling book about credit. It's called Keeping Score, What You Need to Know to Make Your Credit Score Grow. I'll be right back. Let me go grab it. Boom! This book I wrote several years ago. This is like the 3rd iteration of this book, and it's called Keeping Score, What You Need to Know to Make Your Credit Score Grow. It's actually a bestseller. It's an actual bestseller because it sold a lot of copies. And it's so funny because just today, one of my agents came in and she said, "Hey, I have a question. Why is blah, 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 blah?" And I said, let's flip through the book, Keeping Score. Tell your client to read page 16, paragraph 2 in the book because all the information is there. Credit is one of the non-discriminatory ways that you could actually get a loan through and build your leverage. See, back in the day, a lot of people were left out of opportunities because credit was extended by handshake. You had to go into a bank. You had to see people face to face. Now we can take applications online. Your credit is basically your payment history. So if you have paid your debt on time, you good. If you have not paid your debt on time, you're not good. So in other words, credit, don't discriminate against Black people. Don't discriminate against nobody. Keep paying your bills on time and you ain't got to worry about it. So don't use that as an excuse why you're not able to get into any type of financing situations. Just get good credit. Just pay your bills. Okay? All right. Number 5. Putting your money in a bank or a CD is the best way to grow and protect it. No. Keeping your money in a bank or CD is the best way to grow and protect it. Absolutely not. A bank will yield you 0.001% in interest. A CD, I looked at some CDs. I think I was looking at it before I got on here. A CD, what was it, like 0.3%, 0.3%, something like that, of interest that you'll get by putting your money into a bank or into a CD. You ain't making no money. So if I have $10,000 in the bank at the end of the year, I might get 29 cents in interest that I've accrued with my money being in that bank. But you know what they've made off of my money? Because the bank takes your money and they invest it and they make more money by using your money. Oh my God. So putting it today, I was talking to a client of mine. She has a lot of property, a lot of assets, and she has money in a trust. Her dad left her some money, like $100,000. And I said, okay, what are you doing with your money? It's in a trust. And I have 2 CDs for my sons that are now deceased. And it's been there about 10 years. And I pay a bond. I have to pay a bond on it every year. I have to pay $1,200 so that it's bonded every year. I don't even know what this bond thing is about. And I was like, no. She told me this today. I was like, no, absolutely not. You're not making no money on this $100,000 that's in this CD. No money. She might be making 0.05% or something like that, or 0.10 or something crazy. So you got this money in the CD, $100,000 is sitting there that's not even growing. Take that money and put it in something else. Put it in an IUL, put it in a Roth IRA, put it in something that's going to yield a higher return so that you can get a higher ROI. Banks are not the safest place to put a savings. You might as well put that money in your mattress. You might as well put that money in a safe deposit box, because at least they can't do nothing with your money. But if you're going to have that kind of money, you're not going to use it. Put it in something that's going to grow your money and not blow your money. All right. Share this information. Am I dropping bombs? Am I dropping nuggets? I know I am. I know this is some good shit. So I want to make sure that you are sharing this, because people need to hear this information, you guys. Our community needs to hear this information, because I got about 7 more items that I want to talk to you about, but our community needs to hear this, because we need to understand what we need to do to close the wealth gap. The wealth gap is huge. And there was a study, there was an article in Forbes magazine that said that by the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a 0. By the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a 0. And right now, our median wealth is about $17,000. Our white counterparts are 10 times that amount at $170,000. And of course, there's all these factors that have contributed to it. I know for a fact that we can close a wealth gap. I know for a fact that we can exceed the wealth gap with the resources that are out there. We just have to apply them to our lives. But it's not, we can't apply it to our lives if you are getting this information and you're not sharing this information. So make sure you're sharing this out to other people, because we need to hear this as a community and we need to take action. Remember, the idea doesn't belong to he who thinks it, but he who executes it. So if you ain't executing on this stuff and you're sitting back and complaining about the white man and what they're doing, then nothing's ever going to happen. But it takes a collective unit, a community, for us all to act in unison in order for change to happen. So we got to make sure that we're getting the word out. So share this in your financial groups, send this link out to your friends. This is important. This is important to our community. So make sure you're sharing this information and hitting the thumbs up and all that stuff so that we can get more visibility, because this information is important. All right. Now, also make sure you're subscribing to Constance Carter VIP. Thanks, Duel. Number 6, people think the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. I'm going to say this one more time. The more money you make, the more you pay in taxes. Au contraire, mon frère, that is not true. Do you know the wealthy people are the ones that pay the least amount in taxes? Do you know that the corporations, do you know the majority of the taxes that are paid in this country are by low and middle class people? Wealthy people are not paying as much taxes as you. Warren Buffett's secretary pays more taxes than Warren Buffett. Let me say that one more time. Warren Buffett's secretary pays more taxes than Warren Buffett. Hello. The more money you make, the less taxes you have, because then people start to set up these tax shelters. If you have a corporation and it's done right, and you've set up everything the correct way, less corporations are getting audited than individuals. So if you're self-employed in one way or another, get your shit together, get a corporation, get an LLC, and build your wealth through there. The more money you make, the less you're going to pay in taxes. Again, most people that are paying taxes are the poor and the middle class. They got the game all twisted, but this system is not set up for you to win. It's set up for them. It's set up for them to win. Why would they pay the most in taxes? And they taxing your ass to the hilt. A lot of the wealthy people, the only thing that they're paying in taxes is the minimum amount required by law, which is in some states $800, which is the amount that it takes to own their corporation or their LLC, because they have all these other tax shelters in place. So think about that as you start to grow and build your businesses. All right. Number 7, you think because you have an LLC, you can start owning homes and buying the whole block. I got an LLC. I'm about to buy the block. I ain't got no money, I ain't got no credit, but I'm gonna get an LLC and I'm gonna just start buying houses in my LLC's name. That's not how it works. You don't get an LLC and magically now you got credit and you got income. They're gonna be like, yeah, well, you got an LLC. We're just gonna get an LLC some money. Unless you have cash, you cannot go and buy a house in an LLC's name unless you have cash or you have established credit. So a bank or a regular bank is not going to just give a brand new established LLC any money so that they can start investing in real estate. You have to establish. So I have corporations, I have LLCs, all those things, right? So let me just tell you one of the things I did. So my corporation financed a building that my LLC owns. My corporation had the credit history, so it was able to finance it on its own without me being a personal guarantor, but my LLC owns the building. Okay? But you have to have established credit. So just because you got your LLC don't mean you're about to start buying a block. Now, you can buy a property and then put it in the LLC's name, but just because you have an LLC don't mean you're about to come in and just start wrecking shop because they're not going to give you money because you're an LLC now. All right, Black folks, let's get it right. A lot of us want to do stuff the easy way and not the hard way. A lot of us think that we can start flipping houses with no money down. There's programs out there that says that you can start flipping houses with no money down. You got to pay $50,000 for these programs to tell you that they have lenders that are available that will give you money, but you got to pay $50,000 for them to tell you that they got these lenders that are available that's going to give you this money. And really, at the end of the day, what you're doing is bird dogging and going and finding the deals, and they're gonna have so many fees and interest that they're going to that you're not going to end up really making any money anyway. You're gonna get the experience, but you ain't gonna make no money. You're not gonna make enough money to start flipping another house. So listen, you got to have some skin in the game. What I would suggest is you start, maybe with your first house, maybe stay in, if you don't have any money, get a house, maybe get some down payment assistance, stay in a house for a little bit, let the equity grow, sell it, pull the cash out, buy another one, start flipping. I would suggest that. I would not suggest you buying a program for $50,000 that's telling you that you can flip houses with no money down. People end up getting ripped off, and there's a lot of programs out there that are coming into our communities because we just want to make money, and they're telling us that we can flip houses with no money down. Number 9, I filed bankruptcy and I could never own a home again. Oh no, I filed bankruptcy and I could never buy a home. I can never get credit. My credit is shot. My credit is ruined. It's over. I'm never going to be able to get anything again. That's not true. For me, bankruptcy was the best thing that ever happened in my life. I had all of this debt. I was surrounded in debt. And how I look at bankruptcy is if it takes you longer than 2 years to pay off all this debt, go on and file bankruptcy. Because when you file bankruptcy, the debt is over immediately. They immediately have to stop collecting, and you're done. You're not responsible for it. And you could start back. Actually, you could purchase a property a day after bankruptcy if you have a little money saved. But if not, you wait 2 years and you could purchase a property. You know how fast 2 years goes by? So 2 years, you could purchase another property after bankruptcy. So absolutely, you reestablish your credit. You don't get back in the same trouble again. And then you go from there. So don't even worry about the bankruptcy. If you file bankruptcy, it's all good. The city of Stockton, where I live right now, filed bankruptcy. The former president of the United States filed bankruptcy. Look at it as a business decision, reestablish yourself, and move on. All right. All right, number 10. If you got cash, I got cash. I got $50,000. So now I know I could buy a house and I could get a deep discount for a house. So this house is $300,000. I got 50. I'll give you 50 cash. Take my money because I got $50,000 in cash. That's better than financing. Absolutely not. Your cash don't mean nothing. There are so many people who have cash, and at the end of the day, that loan that somebody else is getting for the full price, it comes to the seller in cash anyway. So a lot of times we'll have investors come in, or people who want to be investors and they have a little bit of money, they didn't got a little bit of inheritance, and they'd be like, hey, I got this 100 grand, going to show me 2 or 3 properties, at least 200,000, about 200,000 I'm looking because I got cash. Well, that's not how that works, Playboy. Your cash means nothing, especially in a competitive seller's market. And right now it's a seller's market all over the country. There's more demand than there is supply. So why am I going, just because you can close in 2 weeks or 5 days, why don't I just wait 30 and make the full amount of money? So your cash can only get you so far. So don't get out there in the market and thinking that you have an advantage because you have cash. Where I'm at, there are so many Silicon Valley millennials that have cash. It ain't even funny. They coming out here and making putting these old people to shame. So your cash means nothing. So if you're going to come and you're going to start looking for houses anywhere in this country, you better be ready to make a full price offer. Do not make this mistake. Okay. And the last one I want to tell you, number 11, gentrification is all white people's fault. That's not true. Gentrification, I really, honestly, I get sick of seeing Black people blame white people for gentrification. Gentrification is our fault. We don't see the value a lot of times in what we have, and we will sell it for pennies on the dollar. I'm from the Bay Area, and I know, especially in areas in Oakland and San Francisco, where, our people, our grandmas had these houses that they bought for $30,000, and now they're worth $1 million. And we didn't have the foresight to see the value. So we sold them for $250,000 to some white person. They fixed it up, and they went ahead and sold it for $800,000. And we mad at them. In Palo Alto, East Palo Alto, this is where Facebook headquarters is. Now, East Palo Alto, it was one of the undesirable areas, all Black. Nobody wanted to live there. It was like the murder capital of the world, I think in the 90s or something like that, or the murder capital. I mean, just a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, all that stuff going on. People were trying to get away from there. Now they didn't build Facebook. Them houses are worth millions and millions of dollars, and we barely see a Black person in sight. So gentrification is not all white people's fault. The problem again is Black people, we are too reactive and not proactive. We wait until other people do stuff before we start to do stuff. We don't see the foresight. We don't have the foresight or the wherewithal to try to keep anything in our communities. We want that quick money. And if we exercise a little patience and we start to study what's going on around us, then we won't get duped. So if you have your communities, and even if you see, a little movement, hold on to it as long as you can. Now, I like my auntie. She was the first one to move our family out here from Arkansas. She's the first person to move to San Jose. I'm from San Jose, California. Moved out here in the 70s. She passed away about in 2013, I believe, or 2016. She passed away in 2016. I ended up selling her house. All her kids were grown. Nobody, I don't have not one. We had 30, 40 family members that used to live in San Jose. We have not one that lives in San Jose. She had 5 kids. House was worth $800,000. They were able to take it and divide it and divide it amongst her kids. Now that's an inheritance that she was able to leave to her kids. She had 2 properties, one there and one in Arizona. And then whatever her kids did with it, hopefully most of them and reinvested the money into something else. That's legacy. But if you are still living in that community and now you renting because you didn't sell grandmama's house, and you looking at the people that's living in your house, and you looking at the folks that's jogging in your neighborhoods, and they're looking at you like, what are you doing here? Because you didn't have the foresight or the wherewithal to hold on to your grandmama's house. It's not their fault. We got to start looking at the trends. We got to start looking at the market, and we got to start making those investments. So please, please, please Everyone. I want you to take those nuggets that I drop. Again, make sure you're sharing this broadcast out to your friends and your family, because we need this. We need this as a community so that we can build together. African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you have to go together. And so we need to be able to come together, practice collective economics so that we can build our community, so that we can close the wealth gap. So real quick, let me just recap. Number one, wait till the market drops to buy a home. No. Number two, the stock market is gambling. No, it's not a gamble. Number three, owning a home is a liability. It is not a liability. Four, credit be discriminated against Black people. That is not true. Pick up my book, Keeping Score, What You Need to Know to Make Your Credit Score Grow. Number five, put your money in a CD or a bank is the best way to grow and protect it. The more money you make, the more money you pay in taxes. Nope. Because I have an LLC, I can start buying a home. I can buy the whole block because I got an LLC. Nope. Well, I can flip a house with no money down. Not likely. I can never, ever own a home. My credit is totally jacked up because I filed bankruptcy. That is absolutely not true. I did it. If you have cash, you can get a deep discount on a property. And gentrification is all white people's fault. It's not. We got to take accountability. We got to take responsibility. Stop blaming everybody else for our mistakes. Have the foresight and the wherewithal to figure it out, to hold on. Don't sell grandmama's house. Hold on to it. You got millions and millions of dollars. Keep it in your family. Pass it down. The Bible says that a wise man leaves an inheritance for their children and their children's children. That is your legacy. Owning a home, again, it's one of the quickest ways you could build wealth. 80% or 90% of wealth is generated in this country through real estate. So if you can get onto that, and then it changes the trajectory of a person's life. I'm telling you, it changes their thought process. It changes the way they think about their life and their legacy, changes what they do and how they interact with other people, because now they have a pride and they have a sense of ownership. Now they have something. So you can get into a home, get down payment assistance if you ain't got no money. You can get, in a home with as little as 3.5% down, all of those things. But the opportunities are available to you. So don't let these myths get in the way from you doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing and living your best life. All right. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Pick up my book, Keeping Score, What You Need to Know to Make Your Credit Score Grow. And also make sure you subscribe to Constance Carter VIP, where I go live and I give you, this is only the tip of the iceberg. You could personally ask me questions. I charge $2,000 a month to coach people on a regular basis on one-on-one coaching. This is what I charge. But I'm doing this VIP, this Constance Carter VIP for you and with Dr. Boyce Watkins, but for you, so that we can give you all the information that you need so that we can close a wealth gap and you can start building wealth. So thank you so much for listening. And I will be back tomorrow, same time, same back channel. Peace.
Yeah, it's CC, the CEO. Want to change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at